contracted the nation's first severe case of bird flu after the virus mutated inside their body, allowing it to more easily infect their upper respiratory system. Dr. Celine Gounder is with us to explain. Dr. Gounder, when you hear the words bird flu, severe case, should we be worried?
You should be concerned about how the U.S. is responding. However, at this point in time, the threat to the general public remains low. So this severe case of bird flu occurred in a man in Louisiana. He's over 65, has underlying medical conditions, was infected by a backyard flock of birds. The key thing here is also that there has been no human-to-human transmission, including in this case. But what is significant about this case is that the man did develop severe disease. We saw a mutation that appears to predispose to that. And the more we allow the virus to spread, to mutate, the more you increase the odds that you'll get mutations that can cause human-to-human transmission, that can cause more severe disease, and that's how you get a pandemic.
What is being done specifically right now to combat that human-to-human transmission that you're talking about?
We really should not be banking on luck. What we need to be doing is a whole lot more testing so that we understand how the virus is spreading, how it's mutating, so we can stay ahead of it.
All right, Dr. Celine Gounder, thank you so much.
The bird flu has mutated as a 65-year-old patient in Louisiana is suffering the nation's first severe infection.
This month, California Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency over the virus.
When is bird flu in humans super dangerous?
Well, the World Health Organization estimates that in prior outbreaks of the bird flu, that the mortality rate is 52%. 52%.
California worries me because of all the spread in cattle in California. That's absolutely unprecedented, and that's why we have a level of alert here, and we need to be vigilant.
I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having rapid tests, home tests available to all.
News from the CDC. The agency says H5N1 bird flu samples collected from a severely ill patient in Louisiana showed signs of mutation.
5 years ago, COVID-19 was first reported in China's Wuhan, and years later, the question still remains if the world is ready for another pandemic. The ongoing spread of a novel bird flu strain, specifically the H5N1, is causing alarm among public and animal health officials across the United States as it continues to infect various species. Now, the spread of the strain has raised concerns that the virus could mutate into a form transmissible between humans, potentially triggering a pandemic, which could bring the world to a halt in a similar way that it did years ago when COVID-19 surfaced and wreaked havoc. The National Public Health Agency of the US reportedly found bird flu mutations in a patient in Louisiana. The CDC said in a statement that the Louisiana case of bird flu marks the first instance of severe illness that's linked to the virus within the US as the situation evolves. The agricultural and health communities remain on high alert, working to mitigate the impact of this potentially devastating virus. The recent detection of H5N1 in non-commercial pigs on a farm in Oregon, US marks a significant development in the virus spread. Recently, the CDC announced on the 18th of December the first severe case of H5N1 in the US. That patient had been exposed to sick and diseased birds in backyard flocks, whereas a notable case of a child in California marks the first reported instance of H5N1 in a US minor. Meanwhile, the National Public Health Agency of the US has reported that the current risk of individual and population health remains low and has not significantly changed from the most recent assessment done on a similar H5N1 virus that caused an outbreak among mink in 2023 in Spain. The CDC continues to emphasize the importance of stringent biosecurity measures to manage the spread of H5N1. These include enhanced surveillance, immediate culling of infected stocks, and ongoing public health advisories to limit human exposure to virus.
Hey guys, this is John. I have some breaking emergency news. The bird flu has been detected in 1 million chickens in Drake County, Ohio. And there's been over 800 to 900 herds here in the United States have been affected. So it seems to be spreading. I don't know what to believe anymore, but just on my last article, I talked about the 5 million in vaccines that the United Kingdom just ordered. That was their first batch they just ordered. So it seems like things are heading in a direction. Seems like this is spreading to a lot of people or a lot of animals in farmland. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. And guys, most importantly, Happy New Year's. Take care. Keep safe and keep watching. Always prepare. Purgatory Homesteads out.
Oh Lord. Again. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old fucking.
I don't want it to be the worst case scenario. We have another pandemic happening. We've been sounding the alarm to them for like a year and a half.
The bird flu outbreak is one of the worst ever, if not the worst ever. And part of that is you see not responding adequately to workers' needs.
Typically for avian influenza, because it's so important to detect it early, we are expected to have a 24-hour turnaround time to get results out, but I've been seeing turnaround times of up to a week. In the beginning of the year, we had about 7 people working in the lab, and within a span of 6 months, 5 people had left. So for 3.5 months in the summer, it was just Victoria and I attempting to do the workload of 7 people, but we could only do so much.
It was very disheartening to kind of voice my concerns to people above me that had the power to make the change, and then no post action. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you feel very used and just disrespected.
And so we came to have a picket to make our voices heard about how these issues are affecting our ability to do bird flu testing and keep the public safe from a potential outbreak. It affects the prices of food that everybody needs. So, it affects almost everybody in the state. We are ready to go on strike and shut down calves and do our part in winning a fair contract.
You won't believe what's the next thing that could possibly have us in a lockdown. Yep, H5N1, aka bird flu. This is now, if you've been around for a minute, now I'm in my early 30s. So I remember hearing about bird flu way back when I was in middle school going into high school. And all these years later, it's a problem just popping up out of nowhere. Since no one's really talking about the beer virus, since no one's really talking about that, anymore. Now, this bird flu thing is popping up all through the news and could potentially, I hope not, I hope I'm wrong. Now, this is just speculation here. I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure. It could potentially break out so bad and maybe have us in a lockdown, according to what the news and the media is saying, but I'm taking that with a grain of salt. And might I add, this is all happening right before the Orange Man becomes president of the United States on January 20th. Coincidence? I think not. I've seen stories of farmers reporting that a lot of their chickens are not acting normally, and they're dying, they're getting sick. And there's even some of it reported in cows, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is exactly what we need going into 2025. Potentially another pandemic. I really hope this does not happen. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. I'm just going off of everything I've seen so far. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this will be so bad that we'll end up getting beer virus warnings and things like that? Do you think they're gonna start pushing the jab on us, a whole new jab on us? So we got to get this, and this, or we won't be able to keep our jobs. Let's talk about it.
As we gear up for Pandemic 2.0, I want to remind you guys of a couple of things. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there has been a huge uptick in bird flu, H5N1. Several states have declared a state of emergency, California being one of them. Other countries are ordering millions upon millions of doses of the vaccine. We're gearing up, okay? Those who know the patterns have seen it. It's looking quite similar to a couple of years ago. I'm not saying any of this to fearmonger. I'm just talking about what's actually going on. Remember that hand washing can save your life. Wash your hands. If you do not know how to wash your hands appropriately, learn how to do so. Wear a mask if you're going out in public. Cover your cough. Disinfect your surfaces. And please, for the love of God, understand that toilet paper is not going to save your life. Get yourself a case. That's all you need. If you have a large family, get two. You don't need that much toilet paper. Please don't make that a rerun. But most of all, just please keep an eye out. Don't give in to the fear mongering. Do your research and just stay safe, because if we learned anything from the first time, it's that we all need to do our part. And hopefully this will be over sooner rather than later.
The CDC has confirmed its first case of H5N1 bird flu in the United States involving a patient in Louisiana who was exposed to sick and dead birds in a backyard flock. While this is an isolated case, it highlights the risk associated with handling infected animals. H5N1 bird flu can spread through saliva, mucus, and feces from infected birds and animals, even if they don't appear sick. No evidence of person-to-person transmission has been found, and the overall risk to the public remains low. The CDC does advise avoiding direct contact with sick or dead birds, wearing protective equipment when handling animals, and following safety precautions. Stay informed about health updates and follow to improve your health IQ.
Oh, motherfucker. Here we go again.
Hi you guys, this is my third video of doing this on the bird flu. I have a prophecy, but it's not really a prophecy, it's a prophetic dream this lady had, and it's pertaining to this, what's going on right now. You guys, they're trying to make the bird flu a pandemic. It's going to be called Pandemic 2.0. They want to lock everybody down and have more control, and martial law is going to reign. As they're putting out numbers and saying that this 65-year-old guy got sick in Louisiana, the bird flu is mutating inside of him, and to my conclusion, my opinion, farmers are killing these birds and then they're feeding them to the public, or somebody has chickens in their backyard who are raising chickens, and the chickens are getting this and they got it. Now, it went from a teenager in Louisiana to 37 cases in California, back to Louisiana to a 65-year-old man. Now I'm thinking this is airborne. It has to be airborne, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't seen a single bird since 2023. I'm keeping it honest with you guys. Where I'm at, I haven't seen one. I'm being honest. I don't know where these birds are. I don't know where they come from. A lot of people said months ago that the birds are disappearing and the birds are leaving. And I agree. I have not seen one. I've been to the beach and I haven't even seen a seagull. Where did they go? And now they're saying don't eat dairy, don't eat the cows, don't eat the chickens, don't eat the beef. So what's going on? What are they doing to us to make us sick like this? There has to be some way. And now this lady, she's becoming a Fauci 2.0, is saying that, yo, Biden, you need to push this vaccine out. The vaccine has been here. Or she's to some I'm trying to paraphrase it right. We have it already, but if they're so concerned about the bird flu, why weren't we vaccinated with it when we were babies? That they have the vaccine already. This is strange. And now the bird flu is coming back because I think back then it was a pandemic back then, way back then. And now they're making it a problem. You guys, I have to be careful what I say because my first video I made, YouTube took it down. You guys, they want to lock us down. And what I advise, what I do, I go to the store and I stock up. I don't have a lot of money, just as majority of you guys don't as well. But what my preacher says is that every time you go to the grocery store and you buy something, buy 4 cans of, I don't know, beans, peaches, whatever you can afford. Just buy 4 cans. If you have the means, buy 2 of everything. Like, for example, a necessity, deodorant or toothpaste or toothbrushes. Buy 2 of them and put one away. Like when I go to the store, I would buy a case of water and I'll buy another one and I'll drink one and put one away in storage. When we had the first pandemic, I stored up on formula, diapers, wipes, and everything. And it became a habit to where I just do it regularly to stock up because I don't know when they're going to lock us down or what virus is going to be put into the air. We don't know. And we don't even know when. We don't even know if the bird flu is actually going to be what causes the pandemic because there's just going to be so much out there. Like they say, the virus that's coming out is COVID is it's like candy compared to what's coming. So my advice is to stock up and make it a habit if you can because it's going to get bad, you guys. And I I I am religious. I do believe in God. And if you want to read some some prophecies for yourself, you could go to Prophecy 44 Prophecy News. This is where I see these prophecies from way back when, and they're starting to come to pass because we're in the last days. The last days. So, you guys, they're trying to make this very serious, and I think that they're going to succeed. But my honest opinion is that I think people are going to rebel because they don't want to do this anymore. And I think, as I always say, in my opinion, I think there's going to be riots, civil wars, all that type of stuff because people don't want to go through this anymore. They don't want to be locked down. They don't want to stay in their house and stuff. They want to go outside. Hell, I went outside during the COVID pandemic. You know, I even went outside. But you guys, we don't know. We just got to stay on top of it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys think that there will be a pandemic? Do you think the bird flu will cause a pandemic? What do you guys think about the vaccines that they want to come out with? You guys let me know. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head. Have a great day, YouTube.